Welcome to Ascend the Throne, where we get to hear real developers who made real exits and partnerships which transformed their lives. So my first question to you is, when did you write your first line of code?
I would say when I was 11 or maybe 12. I didn't know what I was doing. And then my dad, he told me, because he's a developer. And I didn't know what it said, but it printed like hello world. And then I could change the text. And I saw it change, and it was the best thing ever.
And that's when you knew you wanted to be a developer?
Just the fact that you can type something and the computer just does it. And whatever you want to build, the limitation is only yourself.
Do you remember how it all got started?
I was on a holiday, France, I believe, northern of France. And I had like 2 weeks of not developing, of not writing any code. So I had 2 weeks of just thinking of the best idea. And I made like a list in my head, and we had a lot of hikes where it was just walking and thinking. And I came up with this idea, and it was the best I could think of. And then for the next 2 weeks I was there, I was just planning out the whole app and planning out what I wanted to build. And I was so excited to go back home and write the first line.
Did you have like a normal people job at that time?
I was working at the supermarket. I think it was my first year still at the supermarket. Stockpiling and cleaning. Whenever I was done with work, I would go home and code. I added some in-app purchases to the app. And then within like the first day, I made my salary, which I made the year before at the Albert Heijn, in 1 day. It took like 2 months to get to the 10K. And then I just kept on working, and then suddenly one big day came and I got like 20K users in 1 day. And from that moment on, it went pretty steadily. After 4 months, I reached the 100K and I was really happy. And then the growth just completely stopped. And I was a bit scared because I just quitted my other job. I just kept on working, and then another big day came with a lot of new users and a lot of revenue. And then we reached 1 million within a few months, and then 2 million 2 months later, and 3 million a few months later.
Having traction and millions of users, how was your day?
I woke up, and then I immediately checked the phone, checked the emails, checked the new reviews, if anything like a new bug appeared or whatever. I remember actually setting alarms in the middle of the night to check if everything was up and if there wasn't anything wrong.
How did you came up with what is the next feature? How do you take decision?
Well, the app had a pretty big community, which is amazing. It's the best community ever. And we have like a board with all the IDs, and then people can put IDs on the board and they can upvote or downvote, and they can create another ID based off another ID. And then whenever I need a new feature, I just look at the board, what's the most requested, the most wanted feature, and I just start building.
And you were alone throughout all this process?
Coding and designing, whatever, building infrastructure, I did everything alone.
You've been the developer, and you've been the support guy and the designer, and what else?
A legal team, all the finance stuff also.
Why not just hire the support guy, hire the backend guy, or whatever you don't like to do?
So I could hire a few people, but a few people wouldn't be enough to really grow it out. So I would be spending all the revenue, probably making a small loss or no revenue at all anymore.
What was your darkest day ever?
Not sleeping for like 30 hours because there was something going on, and it was with the premium users. I felt the responsibility to serve them and give them what they wanted, but I couldn't because there was just so much stuff going on. Whenever 2 things at the same time came, so it was fine if a few servers went down and I could just fix it because I was alone, so I just could stop working on new features and fix the issue. But if there was 2 issues at the same time, or whenever there was like a big issue which made people send emails and write bad reviews, it would mean I have to reply to all the bad reviews and also try to fix the problem at the same time. And I only have 2 hands and 1 laptop, so it was really hard.
Did you have a girlfriend at this time?
No, there was no time for it.
So the app was your girlfriend, basically?
The app was my girlfriend. I've been on the point of giving up many times, but I saw light at the end of the tunnel when I got the email from Blue Throne. I went to the Blue Throne website and I saw the different options, either an exit route or the partnership route. And I saw with the partnership route you could still work on the project and love the project as you did as a single developer, but all the boring stuff, whatever you don't like, gets taken away. And then I replied back and it went pretty smoothly. We got in a chat and we got an offer, and finally came to a nice partnership.
Did you have some kind of scare, or what did you feel about it?
I didn't see why anyone would acquire like my app from a product perspective. As an investment, maybe, but why would anyone want to acquire this type of app? I was looking for the catch. I was looking for, okay, what are they gonna do with it, or will I have the freedom to still work on it, or And then I read some articles online and I met another guy who went with Blue Throne previously. and it looked like a pretty solid business model which Bluethrone has.
What scared you the most in the selling process?
In my case, I was actually transferring the shares of my company. Is the buyer gonna pay first and then I send the shares? It's the risk for them, or am I gonna send the shares first and then they pay? It was a stupid thing to think about because it happens with a lot of big companies and there's like normal routes to go with. I was a bit afraid not being able to work on it anymore or have the creative freedom to build new features. The higher-ups from within Bluethrone wouldn't allow me to do such stuff, but it also was completely unnecessary to think about. I'm still working on other features, and whenever I think I want to build this, Bluethrone gives me the freedom to build it, and it's amazing.
What are the roles you share? What you are the one that is doing and what Bluethrone does?
I manage everything around my app within Bluethrone. I'm doing some daily meetings with the developers and helping them with the app and developing new features. Sometimes there's meetings about some tests we're doing, or maybe more on the business side. What are the next steps we want to take?
You now have a full team.
It's the best. Competent people who know how the apps work and who are competent enough to reply with actual helpful resources to the users, so the users are happy. The users leave reviews about how good our customer support is, and I don't even need to think about it.
What was the first thing you bought right after the partnership?
A red Tesla Model S. A girl drove into it. She was on her phone on the bike. We're in the Netherlands, everyone rides bike. And then I was just standing still and she just was on her phone and rode into the Tesla.
Tesla went to repair.
To the repair shop, yeah, like 4 days after getting it, yeah.
What changed in your life after the partnership started?
I got much more freedom. Previously, whenever I went out, I would also be checking my phone if everything was all right and fixing servers from my phone. And now I can just go on with my normal life besides the app.
What happened in the first 90 days after the partnership was signed?
We transferred everything to a more professional support system with the tickets and stuff. And we got some technical developers on board, teach them everything so they can work independently. And now it's just a matter of, oh, we want this feature, and then we think out the feature, and then developers can start working on it.
Who was paying for all of this?
Bluethrone.
And in terms of revenue, how was the first 90 days?
So when I went for the partnership, I was doing about 45K a month. And now after the first 3 months, I think we're at 120K, 300% increase within 3 months. Without doing too much like heavy work, it was just smart stuff Bluethrone knew.
And what happened after this first 90 days, like the second quarter?
It kept on growing, and I think right now we're at 180K, almost 190.
And how about users' growth?
Yeah, so the users, they're way more consistent now. Previously it was, whenever I spent much time in customer support, so replying to reviews, I could see the next few days it went up because people were happy and sharing with their friends. But whenever I had a few days with like less hours available to work on customer support, it would drop down. And now it's just consistent high numbers and it keeps on growing.
And how do you see the next 1 year from now?
I don't think we can set goals for 1 year because it's growing so fast. We just be looking at the next few months. We can grow to like 1 million monthly new users within a few months. For revenue, we've been growing I think a steady 20% a month now. If we can continue the trend or maybe increase it to like 30 or 35% increase every month, it will be amazing. And I'm pretty confident we'll do it.
How many users download the app so far?
We're about to hit 7 million, maybe even right now because I didn't check for the past few hours, but we're about to hit 7 million.
How does it feel?
Crazy. It's unimaginable how many people 7 million are.
What were your options when closing the deal with Bluethrone?
There's mainly 2 routes to go with, either an exit, which means here's the app and whatever, and I'm leaving it and I get my cash, or the partnership where you keep on working on the app. I really saw the potential in the app and saw how we could grow much more. So with the partnership, you can get a much more interesting deal, and you can actually incorporate your potential, your future visions into the deal, which in my case was the perfect case.
Can you explain what is an earnout deal?
You basically get a percentage of the revenue. So whenever I manage to grow it up and more, and we get to like a revenue of 20 million a year, and there's an earnout deal for 20% or maybe even more, I get more money by leveraging the whole revenue of the app. And in case for Blue Throne, for the investor, it's a much more safe way. Whenever I'm sure I'll reach the earnout, they can see that I'm confident in my own product, which makes it a great deal structure for both parties.
How does it feel to see your baby, the little app that you created in your parents' living room, grow that big?
I was actually on a train like 3 weeks ago, and I was just sitting in the train, and I saw through the chairs in front of me, I saw someone using the app, and I will never forget that moment. Being on social media and seeing the name of your app everywhere, it's unimaginable. I think most developers will know when you're working on an app, you never see people using it. And then you see the number in Google Analytics, oh, 10K users, whoa, that's 10K people is a lot. When there's so many users that you start seeing them in real life by coincidence, that's where it really converts the number from Google Analytics or whatever into something you can feel as a human.
Thank you very much. We love you, and let's do big things together.
Thank you. I love Blue Throne, and I love the fact that we're sitting here in Thailand now. And a few months ago, I would have never imagined this.